Chapter 1. He is the cutest little pillow in this store, wearing a pure sky blue fluffy coat on his round body. Every customer who entered the store couldn't help but reach out and squeeze him, but no customer was willing to buy him, just because his price was too expensive. The little pillow stares with wide eyes every day, hoping that customers who come to the store will buy him, but always closes his eyes in disappointment after the store door closes in the evening. He is really lonely, very lonely. He just wants someone to accompany him and hug him. Autumn went and winter came, and a new pillow has been added to the store. The sky blue pillow that used to be displayed on the shelves for a long time couldn't be sold for a long time, so he was placed in an inconspicuous corner of the window by the salesperson. The little pillow is very sad, but there's nothing he can do. He is just a pillow. No one will understand his feelings. No one. Sir, look at this new pillow. It's just bought in our store. The retro design with palace-y style ruffles will look beautiful on the sofa at home, and it will be more comfortable and soft to hold. I want this one. The man pointed his finger at the sky blue pillow thrown to the corner of the window. Sir, in fact, in addition to the better material, the style of the pillow is very monotonous, and the price is relatively high. Do you really not think about another one anymore? The waiter suggested politely. The man just glared at her, stopped talking, picked up the sky blue pillow, and walked towards the cashier. The little pillow was complaining to himself when suddenly someone picked him up. He thought he was going to be put in another place, but unexpectedly fell into a warm embrace. Holding him was a man with a pair of rimless glasses on the bridge of his nose, looking very cultured. The little pillow was held in the man's arms, and he smelled the sunshine-like smell on his clothes. For a moment, his heart seemed to be filled with something. His nose suddenly became sore, and the long-term loneliness made him feel wrong. For the first time, he wanted to cry in this man's arms. After the man paid the money, he left with the pillow in his arms, ignoring the plastic bag the cashier was taking out to put the pillow in. He finally left the daily necessities store. Along the way, the little pillow stared at the man's face without blinking, as if he wanted to burn his face into his memory. His heart was instantly filled with a little happiness. The man suddenly lowered his head and glanced at him. A slight smile slowly hung on the corner of his mouth, and when his eyes met, the face of the little pillow suddenly turned red. The man rubbed the pillow lightly. The little pillow felt like a deer was jumping in his heart, and he couldn't calm down for a long time. Chapter 2. Back at the man's house, the small pillow was placed on the beige leather sofa. He looked at his new living environment and found that there was only one throw pillow on these sofas. He couldn't help but want to roll with joy. Oh, if throw pillows could roll too. The man finally bought the little pillow back. He liked it from the first time he saw the sky blue pillow in the window, but there was an emergency in the company at that time. Then he went on a business trip for a month, so he didn't buy it right away. During this period, he was still worried about whether it would be bought by others. Fortunately, when he came back, it was still there. Although it was left in the corner, he still found it at a glance. What about the retro throw pillow? In his eyes, how could it compare to this cute little sky blue throw pillow in front of him? After the man took a shower, he sat on the sofa and watched TV. There was a small pillow in his arms, which really made him love it. Suddenly, he felt the house he called home was finally no longer cold, as if there was a warm atmosphere. The man buried his head in the small pillow, rubbed it childishly, and his soft hair scratched on the pillow, causing the pillow to giggle, and even tears came out. Of course, this is just a statement. In fact, only he himself knows the joys and sorrows of the little pillow. But even so, the little pillow will feel very satisfied. When the man raised his head, the little hugging pillow stopped smiling and stared blankly at the man's face. After taking off his glasses, his whole person looked softer and younger. The heart of the little pillow suddenly thumped, as if something was about to come out. The man also smiled slightly and looked at the small pillow in his arms, staring. Suddenly, his head became hot. He lowered his head and kissed the small pillow. It's good now. The little pillow's face suddenly turned into a ripe tomato. Fortunately, he was still wearing a sky blue velvet coat outside, so he didn't have to worry about his shy, blushing face being seen by that person. It was late at night, and the city's evening news was still playing on the TV. The man was leaning on the sofa with a small pillow and slowly fell asleep. Did you know? He has had insomnia for a long time. The little pillow looked at the man's sleeping face quietly and suddenly thought of the kiss just now. His little head is so excited that there's no sleepiness at all. He secretly transformed into a human form. He looked like a 17 or 18-year-old boy. The temperature was very low on winter nights. He was afraid that the man would catch a cold when sleeping on the sofa, so he took a quilt from the bedroom and gently covered the man's body. After doing all this, he turned back into a small pillow and curled into the man's warm embrace. The little pillow didn't sleep all night. When it was dawn, he estimated that the man was about to wake up, so he turned into a human figure and quietly carried the quilt back to the bedroom, folded it back to its original state. After a long lost night of good sleep, the man slowly opened his eyes and woke up, recalling the dream last night. He actually dreamed of the little pillow he bought, and it turned into a cute boy in a sky blue coat and was hugged by him. He also felt that the dream was a bit absurd. It's ridiculous, but at the same time, it's undeniable that the dream was really warm, very warm. Thinking like this, the man looked down at the small pillow that he had been holding in his arms, smiled softly, and said to it, "How nice it would be if you were really a boy." Unfortunately, at this time, the little pillow had already fallen asleep in a daze, so he didn't hear what the man said. Otherwise, he would have blushed for a long while. Chapter 3. The man really likes that little sky blue pillow and takes it with him wherever he goes. Well, even big men have special hobbies that no one knows about, and the small pillow can often go out with men, adding so much time to get along with him, which makes him too happy. So one person and one pillow live a plain and warm life every day. When the man drives to work, he puts the small pillow in the passenger seat. Because he went to work early and left late every day, no one noticed that he was holding a small sky blue pillow with him. When the man is working, he will put the small pillow behind him against the back of the chair. Every time at this time, the little pillow would feel as if he could hug the man's waist from behind. But if he did that, he would probably scare the man, so the little pillow had to lean against the back of the chair obediently to make up for his sleep. The little pillow likes to bask in the sun. The man usually doesn't go out much on the weekends. In the afternoon, when there is sunshine, he will hold the pillow and sleep on the deck chair on the balcony, lazily basking in the sun. The winter is very mild, shining on people's bodies and warming their hearts. The little pillow was tanned by the sun, and his whole body became soft. He thought silently, this way it would be more comfortable for the man to hold him. Such happy days really passed quickly, and as summer approaches, the little pillow became more and more anxious. Although he's still being held in the arms of the man every day, he still can't help but worry about the gains and losses. Because the weather is very hot in summer, it is impossible for the man to hold him in his arms like this. He can still bring warmth to the man in winter, but once it is summer, he can turn into a small fireball. Who would like to hold him then? However, he is used to being in the arms of the man. When he thinks of going back to the lonely days like before, the little pillow feels sad in his heart. However, this sadness did not last long. Soon the little pillow realized how stupid he was. He forgot that there's another kind of household appliance in this world called an air conditioner. Chapter 4. Almost a year has passed, and in the blink of an eye, it is autumn when the yellow leaves are flying, and there seems to be many more beautiful and lovely throw pillows in the window of that daily necessities store. The little pillow sits in the man's car. Every time he passes by the store, he will look at the store, and then he turns to look at the profile of the man who's driving. He will feel more and more aware of how lucky he was at the beginning. One day, the man suddenly stopped in front of the store. The little throw pillow watched the man enter the store and felt uneasy for a while. Sure enough, when the man walked out of the store, there was a plastic bag in his hand, and a corner was faintly exposed. But the little throw pillow still found it. There is a pillow. After he gets home, he watches the man happily take out the big red pillow and keeps looking at it. The little pillow suddenly lowered his head in sadness, but his round shape didn't clearly express the gesture of bowing. He has grown old. Although the man has always taken good care of him, his sky blue coat is not as bright as the newly bought big red throw pillow. Maybe the man likes the new big red pillow. Thinking of this, the little pillow felt a little pain in his heart. The little pillow is gone. The man woke up from his dream early in the morning and found that his arms were empty. He searched the whole bed and couldn't find the sky blue pillow. He was a little anxious, and he lost the mood to participate in his friend's birthday party. So he called the other party and said that he had bought her the big red pillow she had always wanted. There was an urgent matter at home today, so he would send it to her another day. After hanging up the phone, the man started rummaging in his own home. Where would it be? Where is his little pillow? It was clear that he was still in his arms last night. Chapter 5. The little pillow suddenly disappeared. These days, the man's mood has dropped to the bottom. He can't do anything, as if he's lost his soul. It's just an old pillow. It's no big deal. The man always consoles himself like this. But whenever he couldn't sleep at night, he would miss his little blue pillow madly. After he finally fell asleep, the boy in the sky blue coat appeared in the dream again. The boy's figure was getting farther and farther away, and he tried desperately to catch up to hold the boy's hand and prevent him from going. The doorbell rang suddenly and hurriedly, interrupting the man's dream. He hadn't held the boy's hand and suddenly felt remorse in his heart. He got up and went to open the door. As soon as the door opened, the man froze in place. Little pillow? He looked at the door in surprise, just like he had seen in his dream. He saw the boy in the sky blue coat. The man was struggling to keep himself sane. He asked, his voice trembling slightly. These days, after the little pillow left, he still couldn't stop thinking about the man. He misses the man's warm embrace. It's sad to be alone outside. Even if the man has a new pillow, he just hopes that the man will not abandon him. Just hug him occasionally. The little pillow stands outside the door, with his head lowered. After he finally appeared in front of the man in human form, he didn't know how to tell him the whole story. When he was struggling, he was suddenly pulled over and wrapped in a hug. The man looked at the small pillow that was lost and found in front of him, and thought that he was not willing to let go, as if he would use all his strength to hug the person in his arms. The little pillow hurt a little, but he really felt a sense of security in his heart. Raising his hands, finally he was able to hug the man's waist. Pillow, my little pillow. The man was so excited that he kept reciting, and then he attached his lips to the ear of the little pillow and said softly, I like you. Don't leave me again, okay? The words were so beautiful and sweet. The little pillow is so happy that he is almost overwhelmed. He choked and replied softly, Well, I like you too. I have always liked you. On a new day, the sun fills the city again, warming the two people who hug each other tightly. End.